And here we are yet again, in another video where I'll explain two important sections found on the Rosetta Stone, the very artifact that helped us unlock the mystery of Egyptian hieroglyphs. In our previous videos, we explored how the two, now late, Macedonian academics Aristotle Tentov and Tomi Boshevsky deciphered the middle text as an ancient Macedonian Slavic language, using the scientific method. If you haven't seen that video yet, I highly encourage you to check it out. It lays the groundwork for understanding the objectivity behind their results, and thus, the sheer magnitude of this discovery. Now, we'll continue with a slightly different approach than the one we've used before. Rather than comparing row by row, we'll be working in sections. This shift in method of presenting is necessary due to the different natures of the two scripts. Ancient Macedonian is syllabic, while ancient Koine Greek is phonetic. This inevitably causes some information to spill over into adjacent lines, making line-by-line comparisons less practical. We've now reached a point where the authenticity and objectivity of the deciphered content are no longer in question. The linguistic and thematic parallels, especially within the socio-religious context of the ancient world, are undeniable. At this stage, we are simply enjoying the process, discovering what the ancient Macedonian language sounded like and how ancient Macedonians thought. It took me some time to gather the mental bandwidth, so to speak, to revisit this critically, so I truly hope you'll appreciate what follows. Let's dive in. We begin with the Koine Greek section from the Rosetta Stone. I will read the entire Greek text, followed by the ancient Macedonian section. Then we'll compare both in detail. English translation of the Koine Greek section, lower script of the Rosetta Stone.
Whereas King Ptolemy, immortal, beloved of Ptah, God Epiphanes Eucharistos, son of, one sprung from King Ptolemy, and Queen Arsinoe, God's Philopatores, has in many things benefited the temples and those who are in them, and all who are in office in his kingdom, being a god, the son of a, sprung from a god and goddess, like Horus, son of Isis and Osiris, avenger, defender of his father Osiris, being benevolently disposed towards divine affairs, has laid in the temples tributes, revenues in coin and corn, grain, and has incurred expenses for the sake of bringing Egypt into a state of tranquility, prosperity, and of the establishing of the temples, and has benevolently, been generous, exerted himself with all his power, to all his forces, and of the existing tributes in Egypt and dues, some he has altogether remitted, others he has lightened, so that the people and all the others should be happy throughout the kingdom. He has remitted numerous debts to the crown, which those in Egypt and those in the rest of the kingdom owed.
King Ptolemy Epiphanes Eucharistos is praised as a divine ruler, beloved of the god Ptah and descended from the deified Ptolemy and Arsinoe. He is likened to Horus, the avenger of Osiris, embodying the defender of sacred order. His reign is marked by generosity. He has enriched temples, supported officials, donated grain and coin, restored peace and prosperity, and lightened the economic burden on the people through debt relief and tax remissions. The ancient Macedonian section. The ancient Macedonian text is also a tribute to Ptolemy V, portraying him as a divine and highly venerated figure among Egyptians, Danaus Hellenes, and Macedonians. He is referred to as the most esteemed, another way of saying Epiphanes, from the most family, another way of saying Eucharist, described poetically as a bright young sun soul, symbolizing his divine origin, and as such he is a creation of Ptah, the sole creator god, and portrayed as the eternal shepherd, a spiritual guide and protector of the people. He is honored as the living embodiment of Osiris, or Ananetsa in ancient Egyptian as the Macedonians mentioned, and his predecessors, especially Arsinoe Philopator. His presence is linked to cosmic forces, sun, moonlight, and heavenly fields. During the annual Fair of Hope, the pharaoh gives grain offerings and is celebrated as the prime god of the glorious young bulls, a symbol of vitality, strength, and prosperity. The Egyptians and Danaians, ancient Hellenes, are commanded to glorify his name, to embroider it in temples and recognize him as the divine protector of Upper and Lower Egypt. He is immortalized in the stone scripts of the Paeonians, Upper Macedonians, as the Sun desires, a divine benefactor shining with the sun spark of the Macedonian god Lulcha, meaning sun spark in ancient and modern Macedonian, a variant of the prime god V. Interestingly enough, the Paeonians are mentioned as the ones that originally had this script found on the middle text of the Rosetta Stone. And for this, archaeology has proof that the same script has been found in the Republic of Macedonia that covers most of Paeonian lands. Paeonia means Upper Ionia, or the upper land of the Yunsa, the young bulls, the Macedonians. I present to you the ancient Macedonian text.
Народ to naște,
On our hard stone script,
avo naițe moi,
and this most esteemed of mine, the Pharaoh,
na pananjo na deje, roni nashve naina zimenza.
at the Fair of Hope in the house office of our most bright names, of the pharaohs before,
Toye bogomo diveyei, naițe, naiseme, zetoboveze.
he who continuously prays to God Mo, the Great Mother, the most honored Epiphanes, from the most family Eucharist, the bright sun baby, or young created sun soul belonging to Ta,
Opotol nashicha yemo, na zeven nanze na djupacave.
a field of stone for our gathering is like a mother to us, eternal shepherd Ptolemy, named, called a string, ornament, decoration of the Egyptians.
Narei, nai na vevetoni, na denaive, vvzeto naște niluto.
Ordered the one who is like the most master, like Ve, Jupiter, Horus, or just means Lord, of the Danaians, ancient Hellenes, every son of ours, our summer or every year.
Na zebo palotoi, na denaive nashinaven.
In these palaces, offices of our lunar or glorious young soul of the Pharaoh, but to the Danaians are to be a temple.
Nari na djupane, na naveze nashve naina zimenza naijevenu. Toi bogomo diveyei, naice, naiseme, opotol nashicha yemo, na zeven nanze na djupacave.
Ordered the Egyptians of Upper Egypt to embroider our most bright name, or the Pharaoh, the most living who marvels at the god Mo, Mother, the most honored Epiphanes, of the most family Eucharist, an ornament of the Egyptians.
Naina zeimenza, naijevenu, toi bogomo diveyei, naibojena, dive bogo na vio moyeimo, naikopo meze, boveze, prf na veveto.
The brightest name, or the Pharaoh, the most living who marvels at the god Mo, the Great Mother, is of the most divine woman who marvels at the god of her own name, Arsinoe Philopator Philadelphus, of the most heavenly field, city, my moonlight, my glory, the first young mystical soul of Vive, or of the Master, or of the Pharaoh before him,
Na bogo se djupacave ananeca bogo, a moi na zeve bogo le prf na zenijenca.
resembles the god of all, the Egyptian god Ananetsa or Osiris, and my people, the Macedonians, call the god prime of the lunar, mystical, glorious young bulls.
Moje zel nai na pananjo na deje, ro nai na zimenza na setonza.
In my lands at the Fair of Hope, in the house of the most bright name, Pharaoh of the Sithonians, or of the followers of god Seth, the Egyptians,
Inadea, Potogo, Potoyomeve, Nade.
and he is of a goddess's stream, branch of Isis, branches, streams, journeys of God.
Nazeven, Bogoto Ninashve, Ye Prf Ze Prf Zeto, Nadenaive, Nazen Yenai Naveveto Zeton.
Named, called. That God of ours is the first bright glory or moonlight, and the bright glory among the Danaians is glorified, is the most glorified of Ve of the Master is the most. We can see a parallel here where the cause of the Danaian praising of the Pharaoh, mentioned in the Middle Macedonian text, was the remitting of taxes and liberating prisoners, mentioned in the lower Koine Greek text.
Naite, Payana Rodzane Jelju Paitoye Imo.
Is found on the most valued hard stone scripts of the Paionians, on the script of the Paionians, or Upper Ionians, or of the Macedonians of Upper Macedonia. The Sung Desires, benefactor, is his name.
Naikopo Meze, Naya Ile, Yevo Ananeta Bogolcha, Ananeta Bogole Perf. Amoi Nazeve Bogole Perf Nazen Yenza.
Of the best celestial field city, he is the most prime sun god, is this Ananeta, the god Lacha, sun spark in Macedonian. Ananetsa god, O prime one, and my people call him the prime god of the glorious young bulls of the Macedonians. A parallel to the Macedonian Ve or Egyptian Osiris.
Na nave bogon na djupa ze, na se kimoloi zelna zen yunza.
To the god belonging to the celestial master, to the Egyptians, he is the sun. In that land of the state of Egypt, where everyone prays to the young moon of the glorious bulls of the Macedonians,
A ze, dive ze, moi nazeve bogole prf, I voleo nazevogo.
and the sun and the new moon marvel at the sun, which my Macedonians call the O prime god, and love to call him so.
A moi na se ki se yei ze, boze nai na pananjo na deje.
And each son of sowing the most beautiful young moon souls, fruits from sawing at the fair of hope.
Rosetonca moi, najce je prv bogo nazen, vo najze šinjevo, nabi, naši, naveze, nazen jnca nadjeze nabi.
In the homes of the Sidonians is the most valued prime god glorified, the Pharaoh. In the most glorious stones in the temples he was giving his fruits to the temples. On a stone he embroidered, on the glorious bulls of Lower Egypt he spent himself.
Nadeže zelezel I nadjeze nabi, me gospodar na šivenje našve.
Hope passionately he took, received, and in Lower Egypt spent Gaivid, our lord of our stones or temples.
A veve luđeno na djepaca že videca na modea prv, žo, na setonca prv, žo, djupaca, denajen mojenija.
And master of the people of Upper Egypt, who are living children of Modea, the Macedonians, is the prime one, prime governor protector of the Sidonians, the governor protector of the Danaians of Upper Egypt, in his pharaonic lands which belong to the most bright name. Both texts weave a narrative of divine ancestry, seasonal rituals, and royal legitimacy. Ptolemy is both earthly and celestial in both texts, bearing the bright name that must be etched into temples, honored through yearly offerings, and glorified by Egyptians, Hellenes, and Macedonians. He is described in metaphors of light, fertility, and cosmic balance, praised as the prime god of the glorious young bulls, a celestial archetype deeply rooted in both Macedonian and Egyptian symbolism. Here are some parallels. Cross-cultural comparison. A unified royal theology. Across two tongues, Koine Greek and ancient Macedonian, the Rosetta Stone proclaims the divine majesty and benevolence of Pharaoh Ptolemy, Epiphanes Eucharistos. These are not two conflicting narratives, but a unified vision of a god-king revered across cultures. In the Koine Greek inscription, Ptolemy is explicitly named immortal, beloved of Ptah, god Epiphanes Eucharistos, born of deified rulers and likened to Horus, restorer of order. In the Macedonian version, the same truths echo. He is the most esteemed Epiphanes, the sun soul, the eternal shepherd, born of divine streams and connected with gods like Ptah, Osiris, or Ananetsa in ancient Egyptian, as Macedonian text teaches us, presented as a solar deity of the sun spark, morning light, called in ancient and modern Macedonian by the nickname of Vai, Licha. Both texts record his benevolence. The Koine Greek version notes his material generosity, grain, coin, and tax relief. The Macedonian version mirrors this and beyond, with emotional and symbolic language. He spent himself, gave fruitful offerings of grain, and inspired hope. Both texts align in ritual and seasonal reverence. The Koine Greek speaks of formal decrees and temple endowments. The Macedonian celebrates cosmic harmony. The pharaoh is the generous sun child, the yearly renewed hope. Both texts portray a shared theology. In Koine Greek, a god, son of a god and goddess. In Macedonian, he is of a goddess's stream or branch, branches or streams or journeys of God, or he is from godly journeys. And the mystical young soul of Veve, etched in Paeonian script, glorified by the Danaians. Even the cosmos reflects the Macedonian pharaoh's greatness. In Koine Greek, Ptolemy restores divine order like Horus. In Macedonian, the sun and moon marvel at him, and the people revere him as the prime god of the glorious young bulls, explaining all the benevolent acts he did for the ones that are coming in the temples, the Danaus Hellenes and the Egyptians. Lastly, a conclusion, a harmonized cult of kingship. Both inscriptions, Koine Greek and Macedonian, converge in their purpose, not only to praise a king, but to uphold a sacred theology that blends political rule with divine legitimacy. Ptolemy is not just a monarch, he is a cosmic figure, a bridge between earthly authority and celestial power, revered by Egyptians, Macedonians, and Danaus Hellenes alike. A pharaoh who united nations not just through power, but through ritual, generosity, and divine presence. After all these discovered parallels across culture, language, and theology, and after demonstrating clear, objective, and reproducible results from deciphering the middle text of the Rosetta Stone as ancient Macedonian Slavian, we arrive at a simple but powerful truth. This is no coincidence, nor is it a speculative theory. Every section analyzed yields coherent, era-appropriate meaning within the socio-religious context of its time. There remains not a single reasonable doubt. What we are presenting here to you, our YouTube audience, is not just a bold claim, it is objectively verifiable, historically grounded, and unmistakably true. We have recovered the long-lost language of the ancient Macedonians,